All right, so let's get into it. I don't have much time. My dad's gonna start working from home as usual for a couple of hours, and then he's gonna go shower and garden and sleep. So, based on my success, whether I am successful or not, I'm always successful. Now, it's not a question of fame. Like, I'm famous, but I'm successful. So whether I was famous or not famous, whether I have a girlfriend or don't have a girlfriend, I'm always going to be successful because I've been successful since I was a little kid. Because I had hard work ethic and passion and ambition, right? So those three uh, make you keep striving towards your goals, towards your skills, towards your talents, towards your work, and provide level of success. When I was high school, I had success. When I was in my early 20s, I had success at the University of Toronto. When I was in my late 20s at the University of Toronto, I had success. And after graduating in my 30s, I had success, whether in sports, music, videos, vlogging, engineering, science, mathematics, video gaming, writing, engineering, all those things, documents, uh, athletics, health, fitness. I had fucking success my whole life. But what did it cost? So it costs knowledge you always gain through Google and peers. And if you get coaches or teachers, mainly colleagues, your peers, your co fellow, uh, you know, activity engagers. They share tips. Mostly it's about women, but they'll also share tips on whatever you're doing: gaming, sports, education, studying, knowledge, life hacks. They'll all share their own life techniques. So you pick up from them, and then you got Google and your own experience, and that's how you develop the knowledge. Then you got the ambition, so you work hard and you work hard and you consistently train and train and train and perform and perform and perform and perform. What about the resources though? What about the fucking resources? What about the resources? So if you play tennis, if you play golf, if you play hockey, that's expensive. Not only to compete, but also to train. You need ice time. You need the court membership. And then you need the equipment. And not to talk about coaches or enrollment into some sort of league to perform. So I'm just gonna sum it up. My parents, the financial support I received from my parents, regardless of how much income they had, two educated parents, regardless of how much income they had, this is how much financial support I received. So public school, my clothing, occasional yearly vacations. Okay, fine. But they also went on those vacations, so it was kind of like taking me along. And I don't know how much plane tickets are back then, but all right, that's not a resource for my training. Uh, Enrollment into hockey and soccer. My brother did hockey, so enrollment into hockey, soccer. Enrollment into piano lessons. My brother did art lessons. I'm not gonna say guitar because I only did 1 year of guitar lessons. So guitar 1 year. Enrollment into piano. My brother into art. Me into hockey and soccer. My brother into hockey. The equipment and the supplies. So we got a piano in the house or a keyboard. I got a guitar. Uh, Mind you, it's not top of the line. It's bottom of the line, actually. Bottom of the line. The piano was good. So the piano was $2,000 to $4,000. It might have been $2,000. He said 4,000. Did he say 4,000? I think it was 2,000. $2,000 piano. I can Google the model. $2,000 piano, $200 guitar, and then my brother had his art supplies. private piano lessons, some guitar lessons, enrollment into the sports. So enrollment into the sports, I'll get into that. Enrollment into the sports, hockey and soccer. Hockey equipment, soccer equipment, which is cleats. So that's the resources when I was growing up. What else? Oh, and then university tuition. So it's very hard to pay your own tuition when you're studying full time, a difficult program. So I would have had to get a student loan. That's the only way. Everyone else got a student loans because you can't work and get that much money to pay for your tuition, especially when you're studying full time. So they paid for my education, which is like all parents are trying to do anyways. So they paid for my education. The thing is, they paid for my brother's Harvard education. So they paid for his undergrad, they paid for my undergrad. And then my brother went to do his master's at Harvard, and that was like $200,000, maybe $160,000, $180,000. They paid for that as well. My undergrad and his undergrad was like $10,000 a year. So $40,000, $50,000 for 4 years. Harvard 2 years is like $200K. And so that's the resources: the sports, the music, the education, some clothing. Some when I was growing up, I had my phone, my iPod, my computer, and my video game consoles. Mind you, once again, not top of the line and not the newest models every year. And the time commitment was taking me and my brother to art classes, piano classes, and sports when they could. So for hockey, it had to be all the time because I can't go on the transit with my bag and stick, but I can get, sometimes I got rides from other parents, so okay, when they were busy or had something else, so I would wait at the front of the yard and get dropped off and picked up by a different parent. Soccer, though, I can go many times by myself. So soccer, because you just got a bag, you go on the transit, especially for summer camps. All throughout the summer camp, when I was in my high school years, I remember going fucking over an hour by myself with the bag because they had to go to work. So I go to summer camp with a soccer bag. And after 2-hour practice at a summer camp, you are dead tired, dead thirsty, dead hungry, whatever money you have. You buy McDonald's, 2 Big Macs, nowhere to shower, and drink whatever of the 10 water bottles you packed, which are warm by now, and dead tired. Hour, 15 minutes transit on the way back. Rush hour, no rush hour, doesn't matter. That was summer camp, but throughout the season, my dad took me to practice and games. But that was it. Let me give you some examples. Examples was the cleats. The registration for soccer is like $1,000 to $1,500. Registration for hockey is $2,000 to $2,500 back in those days for a full year. So around $2,000, $2,500 for hockey and $1,500 for soccer. Okay? But outside of that, I got nothing. Now, why would I, that's pretty decent support, you would say. But the thing is, it's not aligned with my ambition. Because my ambition puts me on the best in the team, the best in the league, the best in the team, the very elite of where I'm competing, which is already a $2,000 league. So it's already a very competitive league. And I am amongst the best. And I'm not enrolled into any skills development programs, any off-season training other than that summer camp, any coaching, private coaching, any top-line equipment, any networking. So they didn't invest in a camera to film me. Mind you, other parents, many of them, a shitload of them, even some of them brought tripods that they stick on the floor, the professional big camera like this, to film their, and the child's not that good. Their child's not that good. At least not as good as I am. To film their child playing. I'm just wondering, am I in those tapes? Am I in those tapes? So they're filming their child, many of them, and it would at least be memories. So it would at least be memories for me, because they know I'm ambitious about it, and I'm probably going to continue, which I do, for the rest of my life until I'm not able to, as long as I'm fit, compete in hockey and soccer. Compete in hockey and soccer and fitness. So at least I have those memories of when I was a child. You know, you look at every single NHL player, every single professional FIFA player. You got clips of them playing minor league. All of them. So I got no clips for me. They all got clips of them practicing in the backyard, practicing in the park with their dad, playing in whatever practice league or homegrown league or park league, playing there. I got no clips. No clips of me playing sports. So at least for the memories. But more productively, for the highlight tape, for the highlights. Because if I can make a highlight tape, then I can use that, whether I'm a young kid or a teenager. I got some highlights. I can't film my fucking self. And I'm fucking good. I can use that to email and network. Mind you, I don't know how to fucking network because I'm a teenager, but they should know so they can network coaches and assistant coaches and people from leagues and organizations and teams at the higher level, maybe another country, maybe another city, another province, another territory. If we move or we'll find a better opportunity, or a coaching class or a school or something, we got some sort of resume where maybe they can track my stats, but no one's going to believe that. So the most important thing is video. So you get some video and you can show them this is what it looks like when he plays in a fucking game. That's how fit he is. That's his IQ. That's his talent. That's his hustle and ambition. At least fucking video clips. So they didn't network for me. They didn't pay for equipment or coaches. Equipment, I use bottom of the line. So with cleats, you got like plastic, which was bad back then. Then you got leather, which was $80, and then you had kangaroo leather, which was $160. I never got the kangaroo leather. Now I buy kangaroo leather all the time because that's a fucking must. First of all, kangaroo leather is not even top of the line. Top of the line today is synthetics, which is $400, $500, $600. And kangaroo leather is still $200. I just like kangaroo leather because it's a mix of quality and durability. If you buy the synthetics, you're going to get all the quality. You're going to get that nice touch, nice control, nice shooting, but it's going to rip in a couple of months. It's not durable. It's not durable, and if you get stepped on, you're fucking toast. So kangaroo leather is the best. It's heavy, heavier than the synthetics, but kangaroo leather is the best mix of quality with durability. So I just like kangaroo leather, but they paid for cow leather. So regular leather is called cow leather. So I got cow leather, which all the other kids on the team got kangaroo leather, and synthetics. No, they got synthetics. Not even kangaroo, they got synthetics. So they got better touches than me, and it makes a fucking world of difference. It makes a fucking world of difference. Because it's like, it's not like you got plastic, leather, kangaroo leather, K leather, and then synthetics. And they're arranged like this. Like, one of them is $40 for the plastic, $80 for the leather, $160 for the kangaroo leather, and then $400 for the synthetic. Is that a lot of money? Like, how much of a difference is going from $40 to $80? Now, if you go from $80 to $40, you're in a pile of dog shit. You're in a pile of dog shit. So, it's not as if this level is good, this level is medium, and this level is bad. They're all shit except for the top of the line, because the top of the line is less than $400. If you get a guitar, if you get a PlayStation, if you get an Xbox, if you get a Nintendo, if you get a PC, if you get a phone, if you get a laptop, they're all going to cost you more than $400. So $400 is the absolute fucking standard that you need. Anything less than that, if you get cow leather, the quality goes down. 90% your skill will go down. 90% your talent will decrease. I only realized that once I got my first kangaroo leather when I was 20 years old and bought it myself. When I played in the Canadian Soccer League and in university sports. That's when I realized that. Same thing I realized for hockey equipment. So like I said, all these kids are getting videos, now they're also getting, they're not the best. They're not the best on the team. And they're getting private coaching and equipment. I remember one of the worst kids on the team would show up with 3 Synergies. Synergy Easton is still today is like a classic stick. It was $300 back then. I had an $80 stick. This guy had 3 $300 sticks. Does it make a difference? Once I turned 20 and I bought my own $300 stick, yes, it makes a fucking difference. Like I said, it's not a big range. It's not a big range. You absolute dog wash, and then you got the bare minimum, which is the $300-$400 equipment. So they got the best equipment. Then they got private coaching, skills camps, and summer camps, and off-season training, and fitness training, and all sorts of training. So they got all this training. They got networking then at the tryouts, at the coaches, at the practices, at the meets, at the tournaments. Their parents are talking to all the other coaches. They got highlight tapes. Because a fucking 15-year-old kid, 12-year-old kid, 13-year-old kid can't navigate all that shit by himself, can't do that. Mind you, let alone the equipment. Let alone the fucking equipment. So they skimped out on the equipment. No cameras, no filming, no networking. No private coaching. All I had was my bottom of the line equipment. You can call it medium, but there is no fucking such thing as medium. You're either standard or everything else is bottom. Everything else is bottom. Now, if there was some stick or hockey cleats that costed $5,000, that would be excessive. Literally, the best hockey cleats and sticks are under $500. So any material in earth that's $500 or less, how fucking quality can that be? How quality can that be? Can you get jewelry less than $500? How quality can that be? Anything, no matter what the fuck it is, if it's on earth and it's less than $500, unless it's a nano component, what fucking quality can it be? So that's a very standard. Everything else is crap. So you can say I had medium, but I had low grade equipment and no videos, networking, supporting, coaching, whatever. But I am the most ambitious kid and best player on the team in the league, in the top 15%, 10%. No memories, nothing. But they drove me to games practices and paid for the registration. Then when I turned 20 and I had my part-time jobs, I paid for everything. I paid for my clothes, other than my tuition. My part-time jobs paid for my clothes, paid for my technology, my phones, my computers, my video games, my musical instruments, and my sports equipment, and then some clothes and some sports equipment. So I bought my own sports equipment, video games, musical equipment, cameras to film myself, and technology, phones and computers and software. That's what I bought when I had my job, which was the end of high school and early university. I worked as a security guard. I worked as a skating rink marshal, and then I had a summer job for my professional work year at my mom's company. So that's where I got my money, and I paid for my stuff. Then I got mental diagnosis, into the hospital, couldn't go to work, couldn't do nothing, and then I got out. I'm battling all these side effects. I can barely function, barely sleep, barely wake up, barely go to class, barely do anything. So I can't work, can't even study, taking one course a semester. But I get a disability check, which is $900 a month, which is plenty. And I say the first thing I'm going to do is get an electric guitar, because I never had one in my entire life. And my dad gets pissed off and he says, no, we're going to take that money. So they took the full disability check for 5 years until I got an inheritance, which was sad because my uncle passed away. So he gave me an inheritance. But for 5 years before that, I was on disability, where my parents took every check, $900 a month, and I got $50 allowance a week. But I'm at school campus 5 days a week. One Subway sandwich costs $15. I get $50 a week. So 3 Subway sandwiches a week, and I'm fucking done for all my money. No poker, no stocks investing, no books, no subscriptions, no spending money, no technology, nothing. My $50 goes to a couple of Subway sandwiches, and that's it. They take a whole disability check. When I asked them what the fuck they're doing with the disability money, they said, we got mortgages. They got a cottage and they got a house and they got to pay mortgages. That's it. So all the equipment later, I bought when I got my inheritance and when I had my jobs. That's it. I bought my sports equipment. I bought my musical equipment. I bought my technology, my phones, my computers, my gaming. I bought that with my inheritance later. And whatever jobs I had before that. That's it. I paid. And all of it lasts. Like I said, when you buy quality, it lasts. The only thing that doesn't last is the footwear. The footwear and the equipment that you gotta wear. So skates, gloves, cleats. You grow out of those. Even when you're an adult, you grow into your fucking mid-30s. So you're always growing out of those, or at least getting bigger. So those you gotta replace. But the stick, the cleat, the whatever quality equipment you have, or the technology and the musical equipment and the gaming lasts a long time. So you only got to buy it a couple of times and it lasts a long time. And I got that with my inheritance and my part-time job, security guard, and whatever I saved from the software job and the skating rink marshal in high school. And that's the resources I had. I bought books. I bought some software. I made an expense spreadsheet. I bought some subscriptions, some news articles, some stock websites, some poker training. I was into poker and stocks in university, technical things. And no coaches, no training, no leagues, none of that. Canadian Soccer League is free. I played my sports at university, high-level competitive, full-contact sports. At the University of Toronto, hockey and soccer, engineering team, and the tri-campus team, which is 4 teams for 50,000 students. You got one from this campus, 2 from the central downtown campus. And you got 4 teams for basketball, soccer, and hockey. I did soccer and hockey, tri-campus, which is basically anyways 30% former varsity players. So played my sports there. That's free. Used the university gym. That's free. They did pay for my gym membership later in my own neighborhood, so that's cool. So I got gym membership, university sports. I bought my musical equipment, my guitars, my video game consoles, my iPhone. They did pay for a laptop for me because I got to use it for school. So they did buy me a laptop in 2016. In 2016, I got a laptop. Other than that, I bought my own future laptops, my own future desktops, phones, tablets with my inheritance, musical equipment, musical recording software, sports equipment, art supplies, and any subscriptions I have online, courses or licenses. Like I paid for my own boating license. I paid to renew my own security guard license. I always did that. Paid for my own security guard license. Maybe they did. I don't know. Security guard license, boating license, driver's license. Paid to renew all of those basically on my own. So that's what I got, because once you get quality equipment, it lasts fucking long time. 5 years at least. Except for anything that you grow out of. But most equipment, especially nowadays, technology lasts as well. So that was the reasons I had. Like I said, I started off bitching that they didn't provide anything other than my registration, low-level equipment, and tuition. That's it. Other equipment I bought after that, resources, working out, performing, courses, tools, books, education. Like I got university education, but for my other courses that I do online or books or tutorials or subscription websites, I bought all that with my part-time jobs. Musical equipment, gaming gear, technology, sports equipment, and software and subscriptions and books and clothing, my fucking shoes and jackets and whatever. I bought all that by myself. Luckily, I had an inheritance. But I wouldn't say all of that costs more than, what was it? $20,000 total. $20,000 covered. Like I had a food was what I spent most of my money on. Food and the top of the line subscriptions. So software premium. You don't need the premium. You just need the basics. Now I buy the basic. The premium is thousands of dollars. And the business news websites, thousands of dollars article subscription. You don't need that. So that costed me like $25,000. And then more tens of thousands of dollars on food. But the actual equipment, let me even search it up right here. Actual equipment is $13,500. So $15,000, but then you got your clothing as well. So $18,000, and that's including tax. Maybe inflation went up to $20,000. So $20,000. You got your technology, you got your clothing, you got your gaming, you got your musical instruments, and you got your software, and you got your sports equipment. You got all that, $20,000, but you don't buy it all at once. You buy it over 10 years. So working part-time jobs, that's why I supported all my resources. Like they never bought me top of the line anything. Once I turned 18, they stopped buying me shit except for clothing and tuition. Clothing and tuition, that's all I got. I borrowed their car. I lived at home, so I saved money on food. Got to play with my dog, and had a backyard and community that I could train at. The gym, the field, the rink. I had all of that. Other than that, all the resources I bought on my own and then lived at home. That's it. Part-time job. So I didn't get no fucking all this coaching, equipment. No, turn 18, part-time job. That's it. Fucking. And then free field to go out and train. Free rink, community field. university sports, university gym, subscriptions to websites, musical, and then the equipment I bought for the music software and the technology and the subscriptions, I paid for that. So that's my resources. Those are my resources. Those are my resources since I turned 18 in 2009. 2009 after high school. Part-time jobs. Skating rink guard, security guard, and software tester. And then I got fired as a baker, fired as a pizza maker, fired as a factory worker. I quit factory work, fired as a warehouse worker. Crap. Mainly security guard, software testing, and skating rink guard. That's what I was. Nothing to do with engineering. And that's why I wanted to be an engineer. That's why I wanted to be an engineer, because I wouldn't have to skate around on the rink, work in a factory, mindless code, security in a stadium. Wouldn't have to do any of that. I could drink my fucking coffee, go to an office, and get a primetime salary in a BMW or an Audi. That's why I wanted to be an engineer. Later, I was like, damn. Imagine that. No grunt, manual labor for $12 an hour or $17 an hour, which is what it is today. That's what motivated me. Like, cannot wait. But I picked up a lot of skills along the way. I ended up picking up skills which can carry you to start your own life, your own business, your own side hustle, your own supplementary income with the skills you develop as an engineer or any other educated profession. So, kick it real, 1, 2, share your thoughts, leave a comment, leave a heart, leave a rate. Those are my resources. It's all tuition paid, youth sports, and then my own equipment, and no networking, no highlights, no whatever, but got to develop that on my own with my own equipment and my own part-time jobs. And then I get my profession and my degree, and I can go out into the real world. So, kick it, 1, 2, do you, stay classy, LA.